The whole f***ing skeg's moved.
Oh no. Oh no. I'm Taryn, this is Logan, and this is Max. Our life rarely goes as planned, and this story is no different. But we are determined to rebuild our beautiful steel boat, even stronger than she was before. And we're bringing you along with us. Well, today we're dealing with the rudder. So we dropped the rudder down so that we could do some work and make it easier to replace those plates that we replaced in the back here. And now it's time to try to put it back up so that we can do different work. So why do we need to put the rudder shaft back up right now?
So I can get all the measurements I need to make brackets for the autopilot.
Oh yeah, right. Okay. You gotta come, it's gotta come back a little bit. So I guess you gotta move forward. I think it's looking better. It's gonna have to go port too.
Okay, hang on, I gotta get another purchase here.
Okay. Stop. It's gotta go way port. That's starboard.
I'm hard or port, and I'm hard over. I can't go anymore.
Oh, I don't f***ing know.
I don't have it twisted at all. I'm trying to push so that it will go. Hold on, I'm coming up there.
What?
The whole f***ing skeg's moved.
Oh no. Oh no.
Nothing's lined up anymore.
Shit.
This is just f***ing perfect. I'm gonna rotate the rudder back and forth, see if it makes a difference.
Okay. You're pretty much right where you need to be, port starboard right now, but you're too far forward.
That's not good.
No?
No. You want to come and have a look? See how far the bottom is out? And you're saying that's lined up. So the whole fucking skeg is tweaked this way. You should have braced the fucking thing. We cut too much out of the boat at one time.
I mean, maybe if we put some heat into this area, then we could pull it back.
Well, I'll tell you what. We can weld a come along on and start pulling it and take the torch up and heat up this area and just see if we can pull it in before we start getting anywhere with like cutting. And so do you want to do that now?
Yeah, so what do we got to do? Weld something on here and
Yeah.
then get the torch out?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm almost out of oxygen or acetylene or both. Yeah.
Alright, I'm not sure how much of that I was able to actually capture because that all happened very quickly. So I'm going to reiterate what just happened. So we just went to put the rudder back into the boat and could not get it in place because the skeg has moved. And the skeg has moved due to the fact that we put a lot of heat into that area while we were welding in new plates, and we took a lot of metal out, which meant that it was able to move, and we didn't have the skeg braced. So that's where we went wrong there, is we should have had that skeg braced in place when we were doing all the welding so that it wouldn't move, or at least it would move less. So now we got to figure out how to get the skeg back in place because it has moved substantially. Like there is a big gap there between where the rudder is, which is not in the right place right now, and we can't get it in the right place. It's as close as it'll get, and where it's supposed to be. So our current plan is to attach a come along to the bottom of the skeg and then to the boat, and hopefully pull the skeg back in place. We're going to add some heat to one of the new plates to hopefully pull everything back. That's the plan. If that doesn't work, we're going to be cutting some welds and trying to pull it back and then re-weld it into place. This is very frustrating, very annoying. We did not want to mess with the skeg at all, and clearly did not do things properly to make sure that we didn't have to mess with the skeg, so yeah, and this is definitely not one of those things you can just pretend isn't a problem, because then you can't steer the boat, and you got an even bigger hole than any of the holes we found and replaced. So that's what's happening. If you watch down here, you can really see the skeg moving as we added heat and the come along. We pulled the skeg farther than it needed to go in hopes that when we released the come along, it would even out.
How's the rudder look? Better, or is it good?
Can you push it up anymore? It's hard to tell.
Yep, hold on a sec.
Great. Oh man, you're so close.
What way is it gotta go? Yep.
Yeah, you might have it right there. Do you want to go up?
Is that it? So it's still got to come some more, but I have to try and lift it up a bit more too. So do you want to come down here for a sec? Hammering up on here is going to do anything.
How are we going to dent that at this point?
Well, I think we have to at this point.
Alright, so as you can see, it's looking pretty good now. In fact, it's actually pulled a little bit too far this way. See how the gap there is bigger? But that's exactly what we want, because there's a weld that's got to go in over here. And once that's in, we're going to let go of the come along. And hopefully, with the weld going in, that means that this will pull back and be held to the point where we won't have to have the come along on it to keep it where we need it to be, but it won't hold it all the way like it is now. You ready for this?
Not really. I really hope this works.
Okay.
Okay, let's go for it.
Okay.
Oh no.
Is it stuck? Oh man. Nothing.
How far out is that?
Like right, well not right back to where it was, but pretty far. Damn it. Yeah, it's rubbing right on the rudder.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to think on this one a bit.
Move on to another project for the rest of the day and come back to this one tomorrow. So we're having a bit of a problem right now in that we don't really know what the heck is going on with that skeg. We've cut some welds hoping that was the problem. It is not. So we are going to be doing a bunch of attempts at fixing this and hope that something sticks. But who knows? Who knows? First we're going to try using a hammer and smacking some stuff and hoping that it bends and then the rudder stays in place. And then, if that doesn't work, we're going to try heating stuff and see if that works. And if that doesn't work, we're going to try cutting some welds and re-welding them and see if that works. So, yeah, I don't know, man. Hopefully something works. Yeah, more. It definitely worked. So, what is happening now is that Logan is going to go up into the boat and weld where he cut. So, there was a bunch of welding that he did the other day, and for whatever reason, that's probably what pulled things out of place. So, we just did a bunch of hammering and it did move the skeg the proper direction a bit, but we don't want to do any more of that because we don't want to warp the plate more. Also, that's rust on my forehead. So what he's doing now is going back in there and re-welding the welds that he cut that he had done the other day, because with the come along and the hammering, the plate's been pulled up enough, oddly enough, because he hammered the other direction, but whatever, it's working. That's the welder. So he's gonna weld that and hope that that's at least almost enough to have the skeg back in the right place. And if it doesn't get it there, then tomorrow we're gonna continue with cutting more tacks and more welds and trying to pull it the rest of the way back. So fingers crossed this works. We did the same thing yesterday and it didn't work, but with this hammering, maybe it'll get out. I don't know. We will find out.
Well, let's hope that that did something.
Fingers crossed. Okay, we're ready.
Oh no.
Nothing.
Nothing.
How did it do nothing? How? That doesn't even make any sense.
I wonder if it ever was straight.
Maybe it wasn't. It always did catch a little bit.
I wonder if we're just beating our heads against the wall for nothing.
Oh, we did straighten it a little bit. We couldn't get it in before. It came out smoothly. But I mean, that's quite an improvement still. That's like a 3/4 of an inch, right?
So it sits like this. Oh, look, a flying ant. Yeah, there's pretty even wear on that, honestly.
So you think it was straight flush?
I think it was pretty straight before, because otherwise it would have worn into this side more.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Where to start? I didn't level the boat up completely when we got in the shed here, because I was just...
There was a lot going on.
There was a lot going on, and I honestly didn't think we would be doing as much as we did. I thought it was just going to be like deck stuff and whatever, and it didn't need to be level. Anyway, so it's got a little bit of a tilt to it, so as it's tilted, there's no bushing in here. I thought that this was like a bushing.
What does a bushing do?
Well, it does, like, it holds the shaft
Okay.
from moving around.
Oh, it just keeps it in place better.
Yeah, and I thought that we had 3, but as it turns out, this is just a seal that I can't see the lip of the seal, so I assumed it was just a bushing, because there's a seal on the top of the tube that goes through the hull, whatever you call it.
The other shaft? I don't know.
So yeah, because the boat's on an angle, the rudder was hanging one way in towards it. And like when we hooked the bottom bushing up just now, there's no stop on this side, but
yeah,
it's just like it used to be. So I'm pretty sure everything is still good and straight and aligned. I'm hoping for that. I don't even know anymore. It's a boat. It's better than it was because we can definitely lift the rudder in and out now without having to pull the skeg over.
Yeah.
But yeah. What a shit show.
So after all that banging and smashing, we didn't get it straight because the boat isn't straight, but we did get it back to where it was when we pulled it out of the water. Hi folks, so I've got some very exciting news to share with you. We have a new online store, and in our new online store, we have logbooks. See? Yeah. They are live for pre-sale, for pre-order until June 10th. Then after that, you won't be able to order them for a while, and then the price goes up. So, if you like the look of these, and you think you would have a use for a logbook, I highly recommend going and grabbing yours. They have daily cruiser pages, you see? Yeah. Radio log, maintenance log, fuel log, all the useful things. So they are currently just over $29 Canadian. And when the price goes up after June 10th, they will be $35 Canadian. We ship worldwide, so you can go and order them and I'll ship to you anywhere. And there's free shipping that goes along with that pre-order, but again, that free shipping also ends as soon as the pre-sale ends. So we've got two different styles of logbooks. They're the exact same inside, the covers are just different, and you can see Wind Gypsy here. This was from the Broughtons. And I also have made 3 other books, which you may or may not be interested in. They're not boat related. This is a bikepacking journal, a gardening journal, and a forager's notebook, which I have been using a lot. But I also added a PDF guide to buying a steel boat. So we put together all of the questions that we asked when we looked at our boat, as well as all the questions that we'd wished we'd asked, all the things that we think you should look for. We looked at numerous boats, by the way. Before we bought our steel boat, we looked at quite a few different boats. So we think we've got a pretty good grasp on what to look for when looking at a steel boat, and we want to help you guys out. So the guide has numerous pages of what to look for, and then it also has like worksheet pages that you can print out and bring with you if you're doing your own kind of quick boat survey and just going to see a boat. That's also on the website with a few other goodies, and yeah, check out our new store. Link is down below, or up here, or both. I hope you guys like it. I'm very excited about these logbooks. I can't wait to be back on the boat and get to use one myself. Yay. Thanks so much for watching. Extra shout out to our patrons for coming along with us on this ride. We'll see you next week.